Rick, I don't know if you know this or not, they call that the Midwestern Riviera. The Detroit River, downtown Detroit, Michigan. It's the finale of this 4-game series. The Indians winning the first 2. Detroit got on the board last night. The Indians will try to take it this afternoon right here on Bally Sports Great Lakes. Welcome into our downtown Cleveland studios. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. Shane Bieber gets the call for the Tribe today. Always fun to watch him pitch. This is a team he's had success against in the past, and I would imagine for Bieber, after watching the first 3 games of the series, he's got a pretty good idea of how to attack this lineup.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's all going to be keyed on his slider. But when you talk about Shane Bieber, everybody wants to talk strikeouts because that's been the talk of the year. He needs 3 for 600 in his career. He will be the fastest Indian ever to get to 600 in 76 games. You can see the innings, 471. But it's not always about the strikeouts. It's about the wins and losses. And he goes out there and grinds it out. In his 10 starts, you can see he got off to a great start this year. He had the strikeout pitch working. In his last 4, that slider hasn't been there for him like it was earlier in the year. Only 30 strikeouts. But he can still go out and get outs on 3 pitches or less. And I think with this lineup, he can do that against this Detroit Tiger team.
After the game last night, Tristan McKenzie went back to the minor leagues. Bradley Zimmer gets the call up. He's in the lineup here this afternoon. When we come back, we've got today's first pitch, plus Andre Knott, Austin Hedges, a conversation next. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by Spectrum Mobile. Spectrum Mobile has unlimited talk, text, and data. Save up to 40%. Visit SpectrumMobile.com. By Chevrolet, the Chevy Network dealers. And by Meijer. When we support the home team, we all win. A gorgeous afternoon in Detroit where the Indians and the Tigers put the wraps on a 4-game series. Shane Bieber walking in with Austin Hedges. No surprise, Hedges is chatting them up as they head to the dugout. Andre Knott tried to run him down, and he joins us now.
My man Austin Hedges is giving Shane the last words before this big game in Detroit. Austin is always talking. He is a fun player to be around and a fun guy to be around as he gives energy to the clubhouse and the dugout. But we also talked yesterday a little bit about strikeouts and where baseball is going. We talk about it and see it every night, but what is it like from the catcher's perspective?
Still hard to strike dudes out. Just because it's happening doesn't make it an easy task. And the thing about it is not only are maybe hitters are not necessarily going into a bigger into like a main like 2-strike approach, and they're not doing that, but at the same time as pitchers, the only way to guarantee something bad not happening is to punch you out. So like if we got this situation, you know, it's like, hey man, like I'm not throwing you anything to hit, I'm throwing you nothing but balls, where really that's where you see it. Not all these guys, they're not getting punched out in the zone. They're getting punched out of the zone. Yeah. And it's just because all these pitches look like strikes. You got that riding fastball. You got the curveball that's a strike for 59 feet and bam. So I think that's really where it is. It's the plate discipline thing.
Austin Hedges says it's the plate discipline that's playing into the game that we're watching nowadays. I have to ask an ex-player, Rick Manning, when you hear that, what would you do to do differently if it really is just about plate discipline when it comes to the pitches that are being thrown to the hitter?
I think a lot of times now the pitchers are trying to get ahead in the zone and then expand your swing plane. And, you know, if a lot of guys take it, they want to be patient. They don't want to make outs early in the count. Well, sometimes that's going to be the best pitch you see.
Come on, Andre. No X up in here. Once a player, always a player.
He's still a player.
No, I'm not.
And I think we need to get Austin Hedges a little more animated. Bring him out of the shell.
I mean, he loves it, which is good. And you know what? When you can sit back there and you know what pitchers have as their pitch sequences, now you know how to go after hitters. And I mean, I try and sit back and guess with these guys every night, and it's enjoyable for me.
All right, we'll be back with today's first pitch. Tribe and the Tigers coming up next. Well, the Tigers have taken the field behind left-hander Matthew Boyd. And we'll see what he's got today, 2-5 on the year.
Yeah, he'll be the Northern Ohio Hyundai starting pitcher. Boyd with a 308. He works quickly, got a nice breaking ball, fastball. He doesn't walk many, 13 in his 52 2/3 innings.
Terry Francona's starting lineup brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Cesar Hernandez will lead it off. Owen Miller in the 2-hole. He'll DH. Then it's Jose Ramirez, followed by Harold Ramirez. Eddie Rosario, and then Yu Chang getting the start at shortstop. Josh Naylor at first. Austin Hedges will catch. Bradley Zimmer back with the big league club in center field, hitting ninth. Originally, Tito had Ahmed Rosario in the starting lineup, batting in the 2 spot and playing shortstop, but he's still bothered by that right hand when he was hit by a pitch the other night. Matthew Boyd's first pitch, a fastball, sails inside for ball 1. 62 degrees, our game time temperature under sunny skies, a few clouds overhead, but really ideal. Took something off, and it's 1-1.
You may see quite a few of those pitches from Boyd today. The changeup.
Cesar just 1 for 11 in the series. That one, a leadoff homer. That came in game 2 of the series.
Second pitch of the ball game.
Last night he went 0 for 4. Way outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Wants that changeup.
Why not?
And he strikes him out with it.
Well, let's check out the Tigers' defense behind Boyd this afternoon. It looks like this in the outfield from left to right. It's going to be Grossman in left, Badu in center, Reyes over in right. On the infield is going to be Candelario at third, Goodrum at short, Castro is at second, Scope is at first. Behind the plate, Eric Haas.
Roberto Ortiz will call the balls and strikes. Carlos Torres at first, Tim Timmons the crew chief at second, and Lance Barrett over at third. Oh, and Miller fouls one back out of play. Miller 3 for 16 now, as you see on the year. All 3 hits coming in the series, and including a double last night.
Still searching for that curveball, unless he's just intentionally throwing it out of the zone to see if he can get a chase. Does he come back with the changeup? Sure did.
Off the end of the bat, and a roller to second for Harold Castro, 2 down. Storylines brought to you by Wayside Furniture. Matthew Boyd, he'll change the eye level up with the fastball, down with that changeup. Indians have won 23 in a row, and they get 4 or more for Bieber. Now Jose Ramirez. Go.
Yeah, Boyd doesn't mess around. He gets the ball, stays right on that rubber, works quickly. Good way to go about it, to get into a rhythm.
Takes that changeup. Good sign. Ramirez trying to fight his way through a 2 for 17 slump. Shoots it the other way, foul.
Yeah, they were pitching him from the left side of the plate last night. Everything inside, in, off the plate, got him to pull a lot of pitches foul. Pretty much all he could do with it, and then attack him with breaking balls away.
High fastball, and he fouls it off.
Yeah, tried to finish him off with a fastball in there.
Boyd doesn't have quite the same octane as Tarek Skubal, the left-hander who ran it up there mid to upper 90s.
But it still has enough to get it in there. You don't make the mistake. See, that's a pitch right there that he's struggling to find right now.
Payoff pitch. Came back with a curveball, and Ramirez beats him the other way with a single.
Well, yeah, didn't try to pull a pitch. It was elevated, though, and it stayed upstairs, so it might have been a little easier for Jose to take it the other way. But he went with the breaking ball. You see him just push it to the right side of the infield and gets rewarded with a base hit. So a 2-out single for Jose. And we get to see the comedy show going on now.
Well, no Miguel Cabrera today. I don't know if Scope's got the same kind of shtick as
no, you can't have it.
There's a ball scalded, right center field. That's in the alley. It's over Badu's head. Off to the races is Ramirez. Coming around third, they'll wave him. He'll score without a throw. And staying at second base with a 2-out RBI double is Big Harold.
Harold taking him the other way. Let's see where the pitch is and what it is, but he wastes no time. He's going to jump right on it. It's a fastball, pretty much middle of the plate that he shoots the other way. Got it past Badu. And with 2 outs, so it didn't take the Indians long. A 2-out base hit, and then the next pitch, boom. Finds the alley. He'll get a double. The Indians will play from in front. Good thing, Shane Bieber, they got him a run in the first.
This is only the 7th time this year that the Indians have scored in the first inning of a road game. They've gone 5-1 in their previous 6 when they get a first inning run. Eddie Rosario looks at a ball outside. Of course, the leadoff homer in Game 2 propelled them to a 4-1 victory over the Tigers. Eddie Rosario riding a 6-game hitting streak. And I mean, just in the nick of time with Franmil Reyes going down, he's starting to find it offensively, and they needed that badly.
And let's hope it continues. But, yeah, he's starting to swing it much better. Staying in the middle part of the ballpark. 9 for his last 24 in those 6 games.
Back-to-back 2-out hits in the first get the Indians on the board here in inning number 1. Boyd and Haas can't get on the same page. He'll try again. Knocked him back. 3-1 with the right-handed hitting Yu Chang waiting on deck. And a weak ground ball to second will get him out of the inning. But the Indians get some two-out thunder from Harold Ramirez. They lead it 1-0. Shane Bieber takes the hill when we come back.
Ohio Ford dealer starting pitcher this afternoon, and Shane going to make his 11th start, and he's 4-3 at .332. Going up against this Detroit lineup. We're looking for him to toss a good one this afternoon.
A.J. Hinch is starting lineup, and Robbie Grossman once again in the leadoff spot. Harold Castro batting second. Yamir Candelario will hit third. Then it's Jonathan Scope, Nico Goodrum, and Eric Haas. Akil Baddoo, Victor Reyes, Willie Castro hitting ninth. Indians have done a much better job throwing strikes to Robbie Grossman. He walked 2 in game 1, has not walked since then. And overall just 1 for 9 in the series. He came into the series among the top 5 in the league in walks drawn.
There's
Good
that
pitch.
cutter. That's the cutter that Savali has so much success with, where he can use it up in the strike zone. He can use it down. He can use it to lefties and also righties just to get strikes. And I'm sure that Hedges is going to be calling a game very similar like he does to Savali.
Nice play by Cesar Hernandez to take care of Robbie Grossman, 1 down.
Let's check out the Tribe defense behind Bieber. It looks like this. In the outfield, it's going to be Eddie Rosario in left. Bradley Zimmer gets the start in center field. Harold Ramirez over in right. On the infield, Jose is at third. Yu Chang at short. Cesar Hernandez at second. Josh Naylor at first. And it'll be Austin Hedges behind the plate.
Harold Castro been a hitting machine for the Tigers. He had 5 consecutive multi-hit games earlier this month. That string was snapped earlier in the series. In fact, it was snapped yesterday when they held him 0 for 4. There's Bradley Zimmer patrolling center field, getting the call up when the Indians sent Tristan McKenzie back down.
We didn't talk about this, but this ballpark, Detroit, in day games, an awfully bright ballpark. The glare, you know, not from just from the field itself, from the seats, it's awfully bright. This is Chicago, probably 2 of the brightest.
And a walk for Harold Castro. 24th allowed by Bieber on the year. And Yeimer Candelario coming up. Slow chopper. Bieber will have an easy play at first. 2 down. Harold Castro moving into scoring position.
Yeah, I just beat that one right into the ground. Really, the only play is just flip it to first and get the out.
Now Jonathan Scope. He's hit in 5 straight games, 7 out of 21. Good first pitch breaking ball for strike 1.
Well, when McKenzie went his 5 innings, this is the guy that got the first hit off of Tristan. Ended up adding another one in the 7th inning.
You know, the Tigers, Rick, for the year, for all their offensive deficiencies, they've hit .261 with runners in scoring position. However, the Indians have held them to a mark of just 175.
Yeah, for whatever reason, this pitching staff, it controls them. You're right, when they get runners in scoring position. I mean, they've done a much better job offensively in the month of May with runners in scoring position, but that doesn't hold true against the Indians.
Nice pitch, yeah.
See, you look for that little break a ball away. It sort of locked him up right there.
Had him reaching for it. Owen Miller throws him out. And the side is retired on 13 pitches in the first. 1-0 Cleveland.
App to get in-game video highlights, live pitch-by-pitch, breaking news, player updates, state leaderboards, and more for your Indians for the rest of the league.
Matthew Boyd facing Yu Chang. And a big curveball missed in off the plate. Chang 2 for 7 in his last 3 games with 2 doubles. You see that big, slow looping curve, and it must look really tempting.
It does. If he throws it for strikes, that's going to give him problems. But he comes back, though, with that changeup. And there, after the changeup, you see a fastball in.
In the air, center field, shallow, trouble. What a play by Harold Castro. Over the shoulder grab for out number 1. Tell you what, he made that look really easy.
No doubt about it. I mean, as bright as it is there, with his back to the infield, right over his left shoulder, he makes the play and puts it away. That's a really nice play. And you're right, it's a lot tougher than what it looked like right there. But that's the first out. See, this is what you see when you get a big outfield, balls like that where the outfielders play a little bit deeper here, so you're not going to get in on some of those, short fly balls like that, and those infielders have to really concentrate on going out there.
It's almost like it's got to be in their head. Anything popped, I've got to turn and go.
Right, it is. I mean, that's their home park, but that was a really nice play by Castro.
Josh Naylor 1 for 8 in the series. He DH'd last night, playing first base this afternoon. And Boyd gets ahead of him 0-2. Stays fair, easy play for the first baseman. Scope, 2 down. StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud shows us the arsenal of Matthew Boyd.
Yeah, 44% of the four-seam fastball. The changeup's his second best pitch, and right now I think it's his favorite in this ball game to this point. He's searching for that curveball, but also has a little sinker, slider to go with it.
Austin Hedges taking a first pitch strike. Hedges 1 for 4 in game 2 of the series. Got a high fastball, but just above the zone. It's 0-2. Runs a fastball in, broke his bat, and it's foul. You know, you heard Austin Hedges at the top of the show talking with Andre Knott, and one of the things that was interesting to me is he said that what makes the Indian staff, in particular a guy like Shane Bieber, so difficult to hit is that he shapes all of his pitches so that coming out of his hand and on their way to home plate, they all look the same, giving the hitter less time to react to a late break or late movement. And I was thinking to myself, when you catch a guy like that, I wonder if that plays in your head when you go up to bat. You're thinking, do all these guys throw like that? You know, am I going to be in the same position as those hitters?
Well, it's a little tougher to pick it up, I think, when you don't know what's coming as the hitter. But, you know, I mean, we said that for how many years with Bieber when he was, like, unhittable. He's got 3 or 4 different pitches going, you know, different directions, but coming out of the same arm slot. And you pick it up, but you don't know what it's going to do.
And it was right on the heels of Corey Kluber, who did the exact same thing for all those years.
Hedge did say, watching how Indians pitchers set hitters up, it does change how he goes up to the plate, thinking of what pitchers are doing. He says, because you have to think the way the pitcher's thinking if you want to hit some of these guys that have these multiple pitches that can get you out.
Yeah. Ran a good fastball in off the plate, strikes him out to retire the side. Go to the bottom of the second, 1-0 Cleveland.
Well, the Bad Boys will be returning to Progressive Field on May 31st for a 4-game series. Because of a rainout, it'll all start on Memorial Day with a traditional doubleheader at 3 o'clock. It'll end on Wednesday with a 1 o'clock matinee. You can purchase your tickets to see the White Sox at the Ballpark app or visit Indians.com.
What'd you call them?
You call
the
them
Bad Boys.
The Bad Boys.
Yes, indeed.
Because they
said,
were, why?
Well, you don't remember when we talked about this last week when Tony La Russa was mad because of Mercedes swinging at the pitch?
I hear you.
The 3-0 pitch.
Like it.
And I told you the shortstop,
Tim
Anderson said, well, he's like a dad to us, and we're the Bad Boys.
Bad
Boys.
I just want you to tell the story again. I love it.
Rick Mahorn and Bill Lambier just called.
Yeah, they got to. Yeah, we're in Detroit. We better be careful with that.
We're not in Detroit, so I can say it.
Don't remind me.
I like that when I heard that with, you know, how Anderson, and he's got personality, and he's the guy that stirs it for them.
Well, Arch, I'm glad you brought that up. There's a lot of people that watch baseball nowadays, and they think everybody's got to be best friends and get along with each other. In the 70s, didn't the Oakland A's hate each other, but they won games every night?
Well, I don't think they hated each other, but I'll tell you what,
fought.
they had a lot of personality. I call that personality.
Oh, okay. Well, the White Sox will be bringing in a lot of personality next year.
Beautiful.
I'll say this, too. Tony La Russa's a Hall of Famer. I mean, world championships, he's managed a long time. But what's made Terry Francona special, in my opinion, is his ability to adapt to the players as they have changed over the years. And maybe Tony's going through that right now. Does he want to be flexible? Does he want to adapt? Because the younger players aren't going to just do what they're told like in the old days.
Right. You can't just bark at them. They're going to do exactly that. Austin Hedges said it perfectly to me yesterday. He says, Tito, because the thing I respect about Tito is he doesn't give us a lot of rules. He tells us to respect each other and respect the game. Because we were talking about the White Sox situation and having an older manager. And he says he's got nothing against Tony La Russa, but he said Tony La Russa better look around his clubhouse and realize there's a lot of young kids in there that just don't see the game the way he sees it. That doesn't mean that they don't respect the game. They just weren't raised on it the way Tony La Russa was.
And look, there's a difference, too, between respecting the game and being professional when you're between the lines. And Tito allows his players, and I think he wants them to show their personality and be exuberant and joyful and all those things. But he knows that there are lines you cannot cross, like when you go to take a pitcher out of a game and he throws the ball over the center field fence. That's a line you don't cross. Swing and a miss. Bieber strikes him out.
Strike 4.
Goes down for the first out in the inning.
And when you cross that line, you have to go. And that's what Austin Hedges says he loves playing for Tito. He says Tito makes it simple. Respect each other. Respect the game. He goes, as long as you can do that, you can have any personality you want when you play for Terry Francona.
And, you know, the other thing, too, is, and I don't know, we're not there, we're not in Chicago, but that got away from the clubhouse.
Yeah.
And Tito very rarely allows that to happen. If something's going to be handled, They handle it internally. He's not going to do it through the media.
You know, I don't think it was intentionally supposed to be through the media when that happened.
It ended up that way.
It just ended up.
Yeah.
You're in Chicago. It's a much tougher market there than there is here.
Yeah, but
sure.
Arch, Tony went to the media and said it. You know, he was and I think.
But he said he'd take care of it in house.
Yes, he did. But here's the difference, in my opinion. In my opinion, if Terry Francona is asked after the game, "Hey, what did you think of your player swinging 3-0?" he would say, that's something we're going to keep in-house and deal with in-house. Tony La Russa went out and said, I don't like it. And then when he got hit the next day, he said, I had no problem with what Minnesota did. I don't think Terry Francona would do that.
Did he get hit or did he get thrown behind?
It was a bad throw behind.
Okay, he didn't get hit.
He didn't take care of it. But even that, I think Tito wouldn't sit there and say, I had no problem with Minnesota throwing at my guy.
Yeah, my point is this. You will never hear Terry Francona say, that guy has a locker, I have an office. He's never going to do that.
I agree
through the
with
media.
that.
I mean,
totally agree with that.
That creates a little tension maybe in the clubhouse.
Keep doing what you do, Daddy.
Yeah.
I like personality. You guys know that. I think all people like personality in the game. I just think you gotta be careful with it.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Eric Haas hitless in the series. And the curveball missed badly for ball 4. Second walk in as many innings for Shane Bieber.
Well, you take a look at the Shane Bieber in his first 6 starts and his last 4 starts, the sliders. The swings and misses on it. He had 57 that first 6 starts. They were swinging at everything. He had the strikeout ball working. The last 4 starts, only 23. Teams have started to lay off of that slider when he gets to 2 strikes. And, that's his chase pitch. Now he may have to start throwing maybe that curveball for a strike to prove that breaking ball is there to open up that outside edge again. We'll see.
You don't see Bieber lose many hitters when he's got him down 0-2 like
No, absolutely. I mean, earlier in the year, if we thought about it, I don't know if anybody even had a hit on a breaking ball when he had him down 0-2, 1-2. It went for quite a while early, if I remember correctly.
Akil Baddoo, the batter. 1 on, 1 out. There you go. Fire the fastball by him.
Matt, Rick, I'm not saying this is in Shane Bieber's head, but something to pay attention to. He said after his last start, a lot of teams are starting to attack him like the Yankees did in the playoffs. They're not swinging at that curve that went slow. They're not swinging at that slider. And the slider hadn't been as good. I'm not saying it's in his head, but he obviously is starting to notice that teams are going against him and doing different.
Well, they're making the adjustment they have to make if they want to try to beat him. Now he's going to have to make an adjustment back. There's a swing and miss at a breaking ball out of the zone. This is a game of adjustments.
That's what I was going to ask you. Do you think, and this is purely hypothetical, obviously, but could he get maybe lured into a trap of thinking too much and getting away from what makes him who he is?
Well, especially if they started swinging at it, at pitches out of the zone earlier with the strikeouts. But you know what? He'll get a feel for it. And whoever's behind the plate will have to see that too. There may be times where you got to throw that breaking ball for a strike to get him to swing and not chase. And once you prove you can throw it, then maybe that'll work.
Well, the amazing thing is, and I have the note and I got to find it, despite him saying people aren't swinging at pitches out of the strike zone as much this year against him, he still has the most swings and misses like that on pitches out of the strike zone in baseball.
It's his second strikeout, and it comes on a good one. Is this the curveball or is this the slider? I think that's the curveball, isn't it?
Pretty good tilt to it. Yeah, that's a curveball.
Yeah, that's the curveball. Now, to me, that's a pitch that could open up that slider. It's just a tad slower, and it's a little more tantalizing. And if he can throw that for a strike and prove it to the hitters, then he may be able to go back to that slider, go down and away, because that one goes down too, only at a little faster pace. Well, that could set it up in the strike zone, high fastballs.
Interesting, going back to my point about when Austin Hedges was batting. Mm-hmm. So Eric Haas is hitting there, right? Yep. Bieber had 32 0-2 counts. That's the first walk.
Wow.
that he's issued after having a hitter down 0-2 this year.
Well,
Tom Bochenek was feverishly going through all of his notes.
Couldn't wait to do that.
Oh, way to go, Tommy Bo. I missed you. I miss seeing you. But that
He said he didn't miss seeing you, though. He just told me to tell you that.
Tommy would never say that about me.
I thought you were going to go Champ Kind on us there from Anchorman. I miss your smell.
Oh.
Why don't you sit this play out, Champ?
These studios have us going stir crazy.
There's a lazy fly ball in the left center field. Eddie says, I'll take this. He does. 2 scoreless for Shane Bieber. 1-0 Cleveland. And you get a look at Comerica Park on a beautiful sun-splashed afternoon from our T-Mobile coverage cam. 62 degrees at game time, and as we said, just a few wispy clouds.
Beautiful day. It was a nice week in Detroit for a 4-game series.
So Bradley Zimmer got off to a slow start, starting to pick up the pace down at AAA. Last 7 games, batting .429, couple of doubles and a home run. Getting the start this afternoon in center field. And a slow curveball dances in for strike 1 from Matthew Boyd.
It's one of the few times he was able to throw it for strike 1 today, that curveball.
Outfield shades Zimmer a little bit the other way. Pulls it on the right side, flagged down by the second baseman Castro for out number 1. Take a look at the injury report this afternoon, brought to you by the attorneys at Elk & Elk. Corey Kluber, coming off that no-hitter, ends up with a right shoulder issue. And, you know, we were talking to Jensen about that with a pitcher. If you're down for 4 weeks and that's your business shoulder, it's going to take 4 weeks to build you back up. So you're talking maybe all-star break or later.
Yeah, and then you got Luke Voigt, who's on for the second time. He just came off. It wasn't a week or 10 days ago, and he's right back on.
And the oblique injury.
Yeah.
The same thing that knocked Franmil Reyes out.
Yeah.
Luke Voigt, bro, is just going to lift weights the whole time he's out, Art?
Well, he's into weights a lot. I know that.
Something tells me that will not be on the training regimen.
Matt, I don't think he can go without lifting weights. Have you ever seen his workout? It's insane.
0-2 pitch. Again, John Kruk. You can't pull fat. You know.
That's my guy.
Arch will tell you, in his era, there were 2 5-pound dumbbells in the clubhouse. That was all the weight training.
No, there was a 10, a 5, and a 3. Come on. Don't exaggerate. And they were underneath the trainer's table. I don't know if they were ever. Oh, the pitchers might have used them for their shoulder.
They were used as a doorstop. Prop that door open.
I used to do the 12-ounce curls.
Yes, sir. I grew up near Bingo Smith, former Cavalier, and when we were growing up, he told us he said a workout for us was at halftime. You smoked a cigarette, and drank a beer, and you went back out there. He goes, you don't want to mess up your shot with weights.
Now the game has changed in so many ways. And Cesar Hernandez with a high towering pop right field. Reyes puts it away, 2 down. And I think most people inside the game, we make fun, we kid, but most people inside the game will tell you that all of that, the nutrition, the weight training, it's done wonders for the modern athlete.
It's awesome.
I certainly wish it was around back in the day, but then they frowned upon lifting weights and doing things like that.
It's like anything in life, though. You can take it a little too far, maybe do a little too much, and then it's counterproductive.
Yeah, but, certainly, the nutritional value, the way these guys eat and everything. They never had food in the clubhouse.
You had bologna
on Friday nights, Cy used to serve hockey pucks. They were called hamburgers back then. And, it was totally different if you had any. Oh, and in Detroit, Rip Collins was the clubhouse guy.
Owen Miller with a single to right field.
All right, he stayed on the baseball. Another 2-out single for the Indians.
What was Rip feeding you?
Spectrum Mobile replay back in the first inning. Back-to-back 2-out hits. Jose Ramirez went the other way. Big Harold followed suit, drove it up the alley, and Jose scored all the way from first for the only run of this game so far.
Yeah, we'd go into Detroit, Old Tiger Stadium, and for Rip Collins, he'd have a couple of buckets of Kentucky Fried Chicken after the game.
If that doesn't scream nutrition, I don't know what does.
And everybody was in there. You had to hurry and get off the field if you wanted
There
a
was
piece.
one bucket.
That's my kind of party right there, Rip. I wouldn't have played that day. I would have waited.
The beer was cold, and the chicken was cold too.
There's a ball lined into left field and caught just shy of the warning track by Robbie Grossman to end the inning. Middle of the third, 1-0 Cleveland.
Blue Jays will be in town. It'll be a nice weekend. It'll be Dollar Dog Night on Friday, and then you can come on out, go to the district in the pregame, and then after the ball game, there's going to be post-game fireworks to watch. You can purchase your tickets at the ballpark app, or you can visit Indians.com. It'll be a good weekend at the ballpark.
First pitch to Willie Castro here in the bottom of the third is down low, ball one. Castro DHing here this afternoon. Gets after that curveball and fouls it off. Ran the fastball upstairs.
See, I like that pitch up there, that fastball where to left-handers is going up and away. If they start chasing it, that may help that breaking ball, that curve ball of his. Because if you don't stay on it and take it the other way, you're not going to hit it. There you go.
Chased one in the dirt.
Beautiful.
And there is strikeout number 600 for Shane Bieber. The fastest Indians pitcher to 600 strikeouts in franchise history.
Yeah, and that, he followed up that high fastball, went with that curveball down, and he got the swing and the miss on it. Hedges does a nice job of just keeping it in front to make the throw to first base. And 600 punchies, fastest Indian to do that. That's pretty impressive in 77 games.
Now Robbie Grossman, who grounded out his first time up. Again, I think it's special for Shane Bieber in that even as strikeouts have gone through the roof across Major League Baseball, he's doing it at an even more rapid pace than everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it, you look at the guys that he's in company with. You got Darvish, who it took 74 games for him. Doc Gooden, 76. Now everybody would think that was one of the premier strikeout guys.
Yeah.
And then it's Shane Bieber. So I'll tell you what, that's impressive.
Breaking ball in for a strike.
There you go. Lincecum was on there. You remember him with the Giants, and then Nomo.
High fastball up and away.
So far for Shane today, 7-0-2, 1-2 counts. Pretty impressive now. This is the 10th batter. Looked like he walked away knowing that he got away with one there.
I was going to say it's unusual to see him show any emotion at all.
Yeah, I think he knew he made a bad pitch and got away with it.
He needs to take a walk. All right, let's recalibrate. Came back with a breaking ball and struck him out. Fourth of the afternoon for Bieber.
There you go. Another good breaking ball.
I mean, it's not even close. That's how fast he's gotten to 600 career strikeouts. Harold Castro walked his first time up. A.J. Hinch calls him hitting Harold Castro. And even though early in his career he didn't have every day at bats, he's one of those guys who says, I will hit my way into the lineup. And that's what Hinch has tried to do.
It's a great way to look at it. You want playing time? Get yourself some hits.
Haas made a terrific play. Hedges made a terrific play. Came out from behind the plate, grabbed it with the bare hand, and threw him out to retire the side.
Rewards.com in the next 24 hours and earn your points. Tribe Rewards allows season ticket holders to earn points by redeeming codes online for exclusive merchandise and experiences. Call 216-420-HITS to become a season ticket holder.
Harold Ramirez leads off the fourth for Cleveland. He doubled in the only run of the game back in the first with 2 outs.
Yeah, did it quickly, too, in that at-bat first pitch.
That's what he was trying to do.
Bingo.
He did not do.
I was just gonna say that he didn't quite get it in off the plate on him, and he will shoot you the other way.
To third, and Candelario's throw is a tad high in scope. Not a first baseman by trade. He had to make sure he caught the ball first and came off the bag.
I think Candelario was a little surprised how fast Harold was getting down the line. Watch, he was trying to be nonchalant. But now he picks up the runner, and now he's got to get a little more on it, and it's offline. So that's where scope comes off the bag. He couldn't stay on it.
The last couple of days I've been wanting to talk to you guys about Harold, but he always swings very early in the count and gets on. And I don't know if this is just a baseball thing or a people thing. Talking to Tito about Harold, he says he appreciates this opportunity more than most. And he loves being around him, and he says he doesn't know if he's going to become an Indian, for a long time. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. But they love his attitude and how he's taking advantage of this situation right now, guys. And we know how sports stories work and how guys kind of come out of nowhere to stick with teams. But as a team, the Indians have been overjoyed with who Harold Ramirez has been thus far.
Well, he plays hard.
Right.
And he wants the opportunity, and that's all you can ask for. And I think he's been around long enough to realize that. And he's going to give it his all. And if he keeps playing the way he is, he's going to be here for a while.
I think you hit on it. He plays hard. He works hard. He's fit into the clubhouse really well. All the guys love him because of that.
That's all you can ask. And you know what? He'll take care of the rest.
You know what? You look at Harold Ramirez down in Miami. At one point, he was their cleanup hitter.
Right. Opening day, right, Matt?
But I'm thinking, Andre, it's almost like that tight end in the NFL that's maybe 6'2", 200 some odd pounds. You're always looking for bigger, better, faster. And some guys just do the job, but they don't fit. They don't check all the boxes, I guess.
I got you. No, that's a great way of putting it.
And so maybe Harold Ramirez, because he's not the prototypical center fielder, and maybe that's why he hasn't just found a home to stick. Who knows? As you say, as Tito said, time will tell, but I like the fact that he's aggressive and he's making the most.
Tell you what, he hustles and he gets after it, and I like that.
And the situation in Miami, he got COVID early in the COVID situation last year. He's almost always been that 26th guy. He's almost on the team, but not on the team. He's running into that numbers game, it seems, everywhere he's gone.
Well, he's aboard to start the fourth. The Indians have a 1-run lead. We'll see if Eddie Rosario can jumpstart a rally here with 3 on the right side of the infield. They play Rosario to pull on the infield. They shade him the other way in the outfield. He's had a number of line drive hits to left center field in the last few games. And that has helped him build a 6-game hitting streak. Eric Haas says stay with that slider. Got away with one there. That's not where he wanted to put that. Eighth pitch of the at-bat coming up here with Yu Chang waiting patiently on deck. Through the fastball by him. Third strikeout for Boyd, one down here in the fourth.
Well, he slowed it down the last couple of pitches for the sliders. He topped, and then this time he just throws the fastball by him. He gets a strikeout on the 3-2 count. And that'll be the first out of the inning.
In some ways, Matthew Boyd is kind of the embodiment of that old Ray Miller pitching philosophy. Throw strikes, change speeds, work fast.
Well, we've seen a lot of that this year from left-handed pitchers when you think about it. Miley, Rodon, Keuchel. You know, these left-handers that get the ball and get on the mound and let's go. They may not be overpowering. Well, Rodon is probably one of the more overpowering guys, but, you know, why not? Get yourself that's what you notice, or what I notice about starting pitchers now compared to bullpen guys, is they get into a rhythm. And it's nice because, you know, it gets going. You get into the bullpens and the whole game just changes because these guys take so long to deliver a pitch. And to me, that's boring.
And also, too, with a guy like Boyd, we're also seeing what you always say, and that is you can change speeds and have all those fancy pitches, but if you can't establish to the hitter that you can throw him for strikes, then nothing else matters.
Right.
And Boyd's been able to throw just enough strikes that he's got the hitters just a little, like that fastball to Rosario, just enough seed of doubt that he can't quite get to the fastball.
Yeah, he had a breaking ball in the back of his mind. I mean, we see the tempo of a ball game change every day when the starters go out and they give you, whether it's 6, 7. If you get two good starters locked up in a game like yesterday, and then they both came out after 5 innings, you know, and then it did slow down a little bit.
Elevated fastball. So, I mean, again, he's changing the eye level, changing the speed. You just don't know where to sit any one location.
No. And the hitters don't change their swings a lot with 2 strikes as much as they used to.
There's the slow curveball, and that's his 4th strikeout of the afternoon.
And this is the slow hook, and this is what happens. You see that uppercut swing by Chang, and he can't catch up to it. He was geared for something else, and he will take a walk back to the dugout.
Left-on-left matchup as Josh Naylor steps in, grounded out his first time up. Naylor pulled the ball 3 times last night, once for a hit, twice in the series opener. First time up today also pulled it on the ground, and his time he's down swinging. And after the leadoff error, 3 straight strikeouts from Matthew Boyd.
Well, the Indians will host the Blue Jays on Saturday, and all fans in attendance will receive a stainless steel tumbler. That'll be courtesy of Moen. Get out at the ballpark early in the pregame. You can purchase your tickets with the ballpark app, or you can visit Indians.com.
Bottom of the 4th inning, and the Indians lead it 1-0. Yeimer Candelario leading off. A tapper back to the mound his first time up.
Good pitch. He's got a nice little mix going today. And that curveball, fastball's up and away to the lefties.
Well, you remember before the game we were talking with Jensen Lewis, and Jensen was saying, that when he can spot his fastball up, it just opens up so much more of the strike zone for him. And with his secondary stuff, good luck you get behind against him.
Yeah, high fastballs and more curveballs today. And then he'll mix in that slider. And to the lefties, he could throw a changeup as well. He's tried a couple of times. That's the pitch he's going to today, that fastball that's running away from the lefties. Up.
Swing and a miss. The bottom literally fell out of that off-speed pitch. 5 strikeouts now for Bieber.
Yeah, this is a very good curveball right there. On the plate, it started at the knees, it disappears, gets out of the strike zone. He topped a few prior to that to stay alive, but that one was nasty.
Ground ball to third. Jose Ramirez will take care of that. Let's go to Al Pulaski for a Ganley Subaru game break.
Hey, Matt, Rick. Now, here is something you just don't see every day in the game of baseball. Baez a ground ball to third base. Throw it to first, right? All right. He's going to go home. Nope. He's not going to give himself up. By the way, there's a runner on third. It's Wilson Contreras. And he just scored. And there's Baez. Nobody tagged him yet. All right, let's just throw the ball to first. Whoops, gets away. Baez now will go to second base. So that's a fielder's choice, RBI. Baez safe at second as the Pirates throw the ball around. 4-2 Chicago in the 6th. What a play, guys. What a play.
Where's Kelly Leak and Buttermaker? And
I'll tell you what, that was unbelievable. I can't believe they gave up that ball without tagging him. Holy, it figures it's him.
First baseman got lazy.
I'll say. And they let that run score. That's crazy.
We will see that play the rest of our lives. That will be on every blooper show we have ever seen.
Yeah, and
wow.
Doesn't it figure it's
Baez?
Baez,
yes. Get over.
Derek Shelton's a pretty mild-mannered guy, but I'll bet he is ready to fight everybody in the dugout. The injury lawyers at Elk and Elk. Call 1-800-ELK, Ohio. One nothing. Couple of 2-out hits in the top of the first, plating the only run of the game. And as we go to the 5th inning, Austin Hedges will lead it off. And a slow curveball dips in for strike one.
This could be the opposite of last night's ball game. They waited till the 8th inning to score the run, and it ended up 1-0 game. Now the Indians get one with 2 outs in the first, and it's been zeros ever since.
If that holds, it'd probably be the first time I've seen a game like that since early in my career, like first or second year, maybe 2000 or 01. I remember Chuck Finley pitched a game
in Detroit,
in this ballpark.
Yeah.
He gave up a run in the first, and that was it, 1-0.
It was against the knuckleballer.
Steve Sparks.
Steve Sparks that's
Exactly
now
right.
doing the games
Yeah.
with Houston. Yeah, 1-0. It was 150 or something.
I think it was like a single. The guy stole second, went to third on a ground ball, sac fly, got him home, and that was the only run of the game.
Exactly.
Down in the dirt. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Boyd has not walked a batter. He's only walked 13 in 52 innings coming in.
Well, he had him down 0-2. It's now 3-2. See what happens on this pitch.
He walked him on a fastball in off the plate. We'll get a word here from Wayside Furniture.
At Wayside Furniture's Zero In on Savings event, save with 0 down plus 0% interest for 36 months.
Matt Underwood, Rick Manning, Andre Knott with you. The Indians lead the Tigers 1-0. 5th inning, Bradley Zimmer with Austin Hedges at first base. Zimmer grounded out his only time up. Takes that slider away for ball 1. Fastball nicks the outside corner. Now the 1-2. He lays off. It's not something new, but we did notice when we saw some of the highlights of Zimmer at AAA, staying on the ball, shooting it the other way. Against this left-hander, probably not a bad approach to just try to stay on top of the plate and shoot it the other way.
Well, he had Hedges down 0-2 in the count. He walked him. 1-2 and now it back to a full count again. It's his 5th full count today.
Runner not going, and that is just a ball width off the plate, and Boyd Not happy about that.
You see Haas behind the plate. He's going, wait a minute, where was that? So it's the same thing. He had guys down in the count. He ended up walking the 8th and 9th place hitter. Looked like it might have been a little bit off the plate, but his first 2 walks, and the Indians in business now.
So I went and found that game. Didn't take long. It was 2001, and it was early in the season, April 14th. It was Finley, Sparks. They both went CG. Finn to win gave up 3 hits. Sparks gave up 4. The game was 2 hours and 3 minutes.
Was it? Oh, I thought it was 150.
And it was a leadoff single by Roger Cedeno. He stole second, went to third on a fly ball, came home on a sac fly, and that was it. I think the game you're thinking about was Westbrook and Burley. That was sub 2 hours in Chicago.
In Chicago.
And that might have been an opening day game. I'm not 100% sure.
I think it was. Yes.
Brian Garcia getting loose. It's not like Boyd's throwing it all over the place. He just missed.
No, but both pitches. The one to Hedges was inside. That one was just a tad outside, and they're both pretty much the same spot. One to the righty, one to the lefty.
Trying to bunt, fouls it off, and I got to believe that A.J. Hinch is probably thinking, all right, 3rd time through the lineup, let's just get somebody up in case the wheels come tumbling off here.
Well, yeah, it could happen quickly. He doesn't want this one to get away from him because you're going against Bieber, and he's locked in, and he knows what can happen. So this is add-on runs for the Indians now. It's very important to do because they've given him 2 base runners.
Tells me Cesar's not feeling it right now at home plate if he's bunting for the rookie Owen Miller behind him.
Get after it. Let's go. Have a big inning.
Now he's swinging. What? And it's fouled away. 0-2. In the air. Runners will tag. Can they advance, though? Baду gets under it.
Got to go to second
there
with
goes
it.
Hedges.
Got to go to second with it.
And he's in there safely. The runner at first stayed.
Oh, no. That's where you got to follow it, man, and read that ball was not. That's where Zimmer's got to get back to first base and tag up because he overthrew his cutoff man, and you can read that as a base runner.
And now they keep the double play in order for Detroit.
Well, it shouldn't be that way.
Right.
If he followed, if he was back to tag, Matt, and Hedges tags, he's got to follow him once you read the ball is above the cutoff man.
So that's a break for the Tigers.
It truly is because the double play is still in order.
Owen Miller will be the batter. He singled his last time up. He shot one into right field. Outfield really crowding him toward right center field. Infield plays him straight up, double play depth. And Boyd misses up and away for ball 1. By the way, Redbird says that game between Burley and Jake Westbrook, opening day 05 in Chicago, 1 hour, 51 minutes.
Yeah, now, was that the one that Burley made the outstanding flip between his legs at first base to get Lou Marson?
I don't think so, no.
Okay, that was another
later.
one?
Yeah. Yeah, but Marson he didn't come till later.
Okay.
He was during the Maniacta era.
Thanks.
Ah, the good old days. 2-1 count for Miller. Rips it hard, but right into the tracks of Candelario, and the Tigers are able to turn 2 and get out of it. So the base running mistake comes back to haunt them here in the 5th. Well, it remains 1-0. Bottom of the 5th inning. Shane Bieber has walked 2, has struck out 5.
Yeah, he's dealing.
Eric Haas will lead it off, walked his first time up, and that came after he was down on the count 0-2. First time that's happened to Bieber this year.
Yeah, but he's locked in today.
Fastball upstairs. Oh, called a strike. Got a high strike call. Matthew Boyd escaping what should have been real trouble for him after walking the first 2 batters.
Yeah, and he had them both down in the count.
Last week was an eventful one for Eric Haas. Hit 2 home runs in a game against the Mariners on Tuesday and then caught a no-hitter. A.J. Hinch said, yeah, that's probably historic. Yeah. He said it's an incredible week. He said the nice thing I've liked about Haas is wherever I've put him, he's contributed. And I haven't put him at first base yet, though 2 of his coaches, Ramon Santiago and Chip Hale, have been telling him he can handle first base if they need him to.
Well, I know he played the outfield. Then he played left field for a day. I'm not sure if it was for a whole game or what, but
yeah, he threw a guy out.
He made
his second start in left field Friday and threw out Andrew Benintendi.
How about
trying to
Kansas City,
stretch from a single into a double? Now Bieber with the 2-2. Breaking ball, yanked foul. Swing and a miss at some high heat. And that is strikeout number 6 for Shane Bieber. All right, let's go back to this play, Rick. You were talking about it. And what happened on this play with Bradley Zimmer at first base?
Well, you got to go back and tag, because if the guy at second's going to tag, you've got to go and read the throw. And he should have been standing on second base because he didn't hit his cutoff man. And then in turn, it's a double play still in order. And what happens? They get the double play. They don't get a run. So I mean, he's been around long enough. He's got to know better than that.
Akil Baddoo takes a curveball for a strike. Baddoo went down swinging in the 2nd inning. Tops that foul.
Another 0-2 count for Bieber. Ten 0-2, 1-2 counts for Shane this afternoon. Going to come back with the curveball after the high fastball.
Yeah.
Got him. I'll tell you what, he's filling it up today. He's filling up the quadrants.
First called 3rd strikeout of the day.
But watch the quadrants he's using with his fastball and going up and then changing the eye level and going down. And now he's getting some swings at that breaking ball, and it's primarily been the curveball, I think, today. But that fastball up and away has set everything up. And he is back in business today, folks. There's a nice high heater right there for strike 1.
Victor Reyes has put the only ball in play this afternoon that has reached the outfield. It was a fly ball out to end the 2nd inning. And he's in the hole 0-2.
You know, the big difference today for Bieber, he's gone with after going with that high fastball. He's thrown 11 sliders today, Matty, and 30 curveballs. So that's telling you the eye level changes. That fastball is using up and the curveball going down, and then that slider he's using off of that. So, all right, there you go. It looks like an oblique.
It sure does.
We've seen that. We've seen that a couple of times.
Same thing, yeah. Arch, you said this earlier, and I think or Matt may have said it. You got to think Austin Hedges saw what worked for Savali 2 nights ago.
Absolutely.
And they're going right off of that, right?
You know what? When I saw him throw that cutter up and away to a hitter for strike one, the left-hander, that was the Savali pitch because that's what he does. So, yes.
Reyes stays in there, and he makes contact.
Wow. I'm surprised they let him stay in after that.
A 1-2-3 fifth. 11 in a row retired by Bieber. One nothing, Cleveland on top, 6th inning. A beautiful day in Motown. Indians, just a brief 4-game trip. They're right back home tomorrow night to open up a homestand. They'll take on the Blue Jays over the weekend, and then on Memorial Day, the White Sox come to town, a scheduled doubleheader on Memorial Day. So that'll turn that into a 4-game series.
Yep.
Jose Ramirez will lead off the 6th. He singled and scored the only run of this game in the 1st inning. Thought he had a second hit back in the 3rd. Hit it right on the screws, but he lined out to deep left field.
Yeah, and he's letting them go back out there for the 3rd time for the 2 Ramirez boys.
Double barrel action in the Tiger pen should Boyd falter. But he's pitched a heck of a ball game. He's only given up 3 hits.
Yeah, he was. He looked like he was in for a quick 1st inning until a single that Jose stayed on that breaking ball. It was up and he went the other way with it. You know, a measly little ground ball through the right side. But then Harold jumped up on the very first pitch and found a gap. And that's the only action in the ball game.
Shaved the outside corner with that slow hook, and it's 2-2. Bouncer foul. So full count. You can pretty much bet money if he loses them, that'll be it for Boyd.
I want to go inside with that heater. I don't know. It didn't look like Boyd wanted to throw it. I was thinking change up away.
Throw it with 100% conviction or don't throw it.
Yeah, he got off. He stepped off. Let's see if he's going to go back in.
No.
He's going to the changeup. That's what I thought he wanted to do.
And that is smoked fair. And down into the corner it goes. Jose will have himself a leadoff double.
And you know what Jose was looking for, don't you?
A heater.
Changeup. No, he was waiting for the changeup.
He did. You're right.
He came back. He threw, and that's what Boyd wanted to throw. He was convicted. It wasn't a bad one. But watch Jose. He knew what was coming. He had him a couple of times earlier in the game with that changeup, and he found this one in fair territory. So he gets his 2nd hit, be his 10th double, and they have action again.
Well, A.J. Hinch going to stick with Boyd here with Harold Ramirez, the right-handed hitter. Even though it was Harold who drove in the only run of the game back in the 1st with a 2-out RBI double. Only the 4th hit of the game for the Tribe, and their first since the 3rd inning. Right back up the middle, and it gets through. Ramirez will score, and it's 2-0 Cleveland. Harold Ramirez has driven them both home today.
And it was the exact same situation. Very first pitch, he comes back. And this one goes right up the middle. I thought they were going to have a play at it. You'll see an infielder go down. It deflects off the mound. Boy, I'll tell you, he scooted over, did Castro, then tried to make a backhanded stab, but no, that's his second straight hit. So the Ramirez boys have done the damage today for the Tribe.
Shane Bieber loves it. Eddie Rosario, 0 for 2 today, steps in.
I'm thinking this is going to be his last hitter here. He's been able to get Rosario both times today.
Also tells you that A.J. Hinch thinks a lot of Boyd. He's pitched very well. He's pitched very well all year. His ERA coming in was 3.08. Just hasn't had the run support. But he's given him a chance here.
Yeah, he chose to let him go out and get Ramirez for the third time, and those are the guys that have 4 of the 5 hits that the Indians have.
High and deep to right field, and gone to Souvenir City for Eddie Rosario. A 2-run homer, his 4th of the season, makes it a 3-run 6th and a 4-0 Indians lead.
And he picked down a breaking ball. So for Eddie, he'll get his 4th home run, give him 26 RBI now. And that happened in a hurry.
And that is the end of the line for Matthew Boyd. Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen has been made. The Indians erupting for 3 here in the 6th. Lead it 4-0. Mid-game recap brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. 2 outs, nobody on base. Jose Ramirez singled in the first, and Harold Ramirez doubled him home with a shot to right center field. That made it 1-0. It stood that way until the 6th when Harold Ramirez singled home Jose Ramirez, who had doubled to start the inning. And then Eddie Rosario followed with his first home run since May 3rd in Kansas City. And that 2-run shot makes it 4-0, sends Matthew Boyd to the showers, and Brian Garcia is the new Tigers pitcher. Garcia worked 2/3 of an inning in the series opener, and that did not go well. Gave up 3 runs, though they were unearned because of an error. Yu Chang 0 for 2 today. And he lines one into right center field just past Harold Castro for a single, and that's 4 straight hits now in the inning, and give Yu Chang 3 hits in his last 4 games. That'll give Josh Naylor a chance to face a right-handed pitcher.
Well, you remember to go back to that very first road trip, or the opening day, really, the series. The Indians exploded on that Sunday getaway day. It was a close game, but now they've got a big inning working. 4 consecutive hits.
And no surprise, look what inning it is.
Yeah, the 6th inning, right. They did it late in that game, too.
Topper to first, and he dropped the ball. What's the call? Now we get a foul ball call.
Is that the home plate umpire's call?
It is.
I think, because it's got to go past first base for the first base umpire.
Probably why we didn't see the call. He wasn't in our picture. Now they're coming together.
Now they'll talk about it. He was going to ask, did you see it? I'm not sure if the home plate umpire, that's what A.J. Hinch is going to ask about. He thought it was a fair ball and they'd at least get it out. Foul ball. Oh, now he's saying I called it.
And he's saying it's the home plate umpire's call.
Right, exactly. And you know what? That looked like a fair ball, to be honest.
It sure did.
From that angle. He just never caught it.
See if we get a better look
All
here.
right, there you'll see it. It's not behind, but you see there's.
Now there it looked foul, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you know what? It did. It looked like it was a foul ball. But the home plate umpire's looking right down the line, and he ended up calling it fair.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, there.
Watch the home plate umpire. See, he gets behind him, and he's looking for it, and he says, fair ball.
Oh, he does. You're right.
So that's what AJ's talking about here. The ump called it fair, and it's really his call until he gets past the bag if they have issues. And now he's talking about everything, and he's trying to get an explanation. But this is not a reviewable play because it's in front of the.
And so you've got the crew chief who's kind of caught in between. You've got two young umpires, Carlos Torres, Roberto Ortiz, and Tim Timmons is trying to smooth this over.
It didn't look like it went too well. So it will be a foul ball.
A break for Naylor and the Tribe. Because I think they would have at least had one out there.
Yeah, they would have because he dropped the ball. So he would have only been able to get the one out, and there would have been a man on second.
High pop up. And Reyes in to make the play for out number one. Get a word here from Levin Furniture.
Indians baseball on Bally Sports Great Lakes is brought to you by Levin Mattress, located in all furniture stores and in freestanding locations. Shop Levin's.
Austin Hedges struck out and walked today. With the 3 runs here in the 6th inning, the Indians have now outscored their opponents in the 6th inning this year 37-7.
Wow. I mean, there's no rhyme or reason, you know. We went for a while in that 5th inning where we didn't have a run for, I don't know, 20 games or something like that. Maybe more than that.
Still only have 11.
Yeah.
But how does it go from nothing to explosion, one inning to the next?
That's it.
Maybe if we really dug into it and looked, is it just the way the lineup turns over consistently, or what?
I don't know.
Is that a potential situation where the pitcher reaches his fatigue level and they jump on him?
I don't know.
I want answers.
Well, I'll talk to Tommy. He'll give them to you.
There's a fly ball to center field. And Badu has that for out number 2. Now Bradley Zimmer, who grounded out in the 3rd, walked in the 5th. Down low, runner goes, and no chance. Yu Chang with an uncontested steal practically. I mean, they did throw down, but he was already at the bag when the throw arrived.
Yeah, you steal that one off the pitcher. You know, 4-0 game. May not be paying attention to you over there, and he's trying to throw a strike, and oh my goodness, what a jump. That sums it up right there. He still stole that one off the pitcher.
Yeah, sometimes stolen bases, it's just a matchup. You know he's going. Everybody in the park knows he's going. The catcher knows he's going. It's just can he beat the throw? That was pure larceny.
Yeah, well, yeah. When everybody knows you're going, that's a true stolen base, too.
Oh! Danced out of the way, or no, he nicked him. Garcia says no. The Tigers will probably take a look at this.
Well,
I didn't think it hit,
I don't
to be
know.
honest with you.
He skipped out of it, but I don't know. It was behind his leg. It didn't look like it because I saw the dirt kick up.
Maybe grazed the top of the shoe?
I don't know.
Tigers aren't going.
My eyes aren't that good.
Tigers aren't going to venture a challenge, so. Remember last night they did challenge and got one overturned on the ball that grazed Jordan Luplow's armband, although replay indicated it didn't touch him. That was the flex.
Yeah.
She called that the flex band.
Yeah.
By the way, Jordan Luplow is out of the lineup today because of that ankle injury that he's been dealing with since spring training. That and it was part of the reason why they had to get Zimmer up here. This could be a long-term situation. We'll probably know more tomorrow as he's dealing with that left ankle injury.
When you say long-term situation, meaning he's going to have to deal with this throughout the season?
Yeah, he's either going to have to deal with it for the rest of the season or they're going to have to put him on the IL to rest it because, as I said, this has been going on now since March with this left ankle that continues to kind of bother him. And I know Tito brought up the hit that scored the run last night. He kind of said, hey, if we had a center fielder that wasn't banged up, maybe he had a better chance to catch it. And then he didn't put him in the lineup today.
Two on, two out. Cesar Hernandez, the eighth man to bat in the inning.
Remember we were talking about starters, and once they leave the ball game in that tempo and that rhythm, what happens? We're seeing it right here with Garcia out on the mound. Long time in between pitches, having a tough time throwing anything for strikes.
That was borderline at best.
You can't help them out.
Cesar currently 0 for his last 10. Did he go? They appeal. He did. That'll end the inning, but not before the Tribe explodes with a leadoff double by Jose Ramirez. An RBI single by Harold Ramirez and a two-run jack from Eddie Rosario. Shane Bieber rolls on, bottom of the sixth. He has the number 9 hitter Willie Castro to lead it off. He's allowed only 2 base runners, a 1-out walk to Harold Castro in the first, a 1-out walk to Eric Haas in the second. He's retired the last 11 in a row, has struck out 7 on the afternoon, including Willie Castro back in the third inning, and he chases that breaking ball downstairs.
That curveball's been beautiful for him this afternoon. It really has. We were talking about it, people laying off those pitches out of the strike zone. Well, it hasn't happened today. And it's been primarily the curveball, not the slider. It's almost 2-1. And that pitch right there, high fastball.
Hitter has just too much to cover.
Right.
Against the guy that can get you out with number of different weapons.
And, you know, the 0-2 counts we told you about, it's 12 now. 0-2, 1-2. And the swings and misses are about 18. And a little different weather pitching in this game than he did opening day. Nice paint with the heater.
Second time he's punched out a batter with a called third strike, number 8 on the afternoon.
Yeah, just, I mean, inside edge, there you go. Right by you, and it looks so much harder because they're sitting on that off-speed pitch. He can't believe it, but that was a good pitch.
To the top of the order, Robbie Grossman, 0 for 2. Grounded out in the first, struck out swinging in the third, and that was on a breaking ball that was up and away. Pretty good looking pitch.
Yeah.
Didn't get the call there.
That's the thing now. You're seeing more umpires call that pitch up there strikes nowadays than what you used to see.
It's 2-0. Robbie Grossman, 1 out of 11 in the series.
For Bieber going through that lineup, 39 pitches the first time through, 36 the second time. Like to see him have a quick inning.
3-0. Well, he only had 3 strikeouts the first time through. 5 the second time through the order. And yet the pitch count didn't really climb that much.
No, right. 0-2s. There you go, 4 straight.
Third walk of the day, first for Grossman. And our stat of the game brought to you by Buick. Shane Bieber, he has been a horse.
Yeah, averaging that per start. And his teammate Savali right there over the 100 mark. Of course, you know Bauer's going to be there. Wheeler with Philadelphia, and then Rodon, who's been a workhorse after coming out of surgery and things like that where he's hurt.
1 on 1 out, Harold Castro walked in the first. A little dribbler out in front of the plate in the third that ended the inning when Austin Hedges came out and made a nice play. Tapper by the mound. They throw to first to get the out there. And the runner is at second base. I think Cesar is going, let's have a chat.
Just get the lead guy, that's all. Go step on the base. Chang just threw it to first. You could just step on the base there at second base, not have to make a throw.
Fortunately, he got the out at first base because the throw was in the dirt, too. Well, 2 down. And Yeimer Candelario 0 for 2, the batter. Fastball right back over the inside corner, and it's 0-2. His fastball has been so consistently sharp today. It's 93, and he's been able to move it around in, up, down, you name it.
Oh, it comes off the heater. Going in there again. Sure.
Oh, yeah. Ring him up. Strikeout number 9 for Shane Bieber, and the beat goes on through 6. Indians baseball brought to you by KeyBank. KeyBank opens doors. Well, a beautiful day in Detroit. Indians on top 4-0. They'll bat here in the 7th inning. Joe Jimenez coming on to pitch for Detroit. Owen Miller, 1 for 3 today. He singled back in the 3rd. Had a fastball and fouled it back. Threw the fastball by him, and Owen Miller strikes out, 1 away. Our Mike's Hard Lemonade Hard Plays, plural, in the 6th inning. A leadoff double by Jose Ramirez, followed by a Harold Ramirez sharply lined single up the middle, made it 2-0. And the next man up, Eddie Rosario, for the first time since May 3rd. A big home run. And the Indians have built a 4-0 lead. Jose Ramirez takes a breaking ball down and in. And on the flip side, Shane Bieber, 6 innings. He's walked 3, struck out 9. Maybe that's all Jose Ramirez needed, just a day batting right-handed. Change it up.
Well, yeah, he went the other way, pulled a double on a change up, down the line to left. That could be.
From the left side of the plate, lifts one high in the air to left field. 2 down. Well, we started the day in the 1st inning talking about Harold Ramirez. Terry Francona's comments about Ramirez appreciating his hustle and the way he's contributed. He has 2 big hits, driving in runs both times in the 1st and 6th innings. Reached on an error in the 4th.
That was your pick to click today, too, wasn't it? Yes, it was.
Blind squirrel.
No.
No, when we were talking about it before the game, though, he was the one hitter in the lineup that I said, I just like his aggressive nature. I like the way he's been swinging it.
Boyd throws strikes. He's around the plate.
Yeah. I mean, if you can take today's game into consideration, so his last 12 games, 4 doubles, a couple of home runs, so You like anytime you can get extra base hits. You love that.
Who you got in the pick 4 tonight?
We knew you were.
Ooh,
oh, that got him.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he's upset. I don't know where it got him. If it was in the hand, but he is not a happy camper.
Oh, man.
Because this fastball runs in, and it's got to be somewhere in the hand.
Second time in the series, an Indians right-handed batter has been drilled in the hand by a Tigers fastball.
Let's watch. And it's up. Yeah, it looked like it got him on a knuckle and maybe the other hand. It might have got him on both hands.
I think it might have.
It deflected.
Looked like it came up and in. It might have caught his left thumb and then deflected into his right hand as well. So that's why he's kind of standing there awkwardly with both hands. He didn't know which one.
Boy, really hard to tell. That was almost a face shuttle. I mean, that one was right up around the eyes, and that is not good. Yeah.
There's that right thumb.
Yeah, right fingers right there.
Okay.
And I think it got both hands.
That's a serious bruise he's
That's
got on that left.
that's a blister
pinky.
coming on. That might have got caught between the bat and the ball. It's like a blood blister.
You can hear Tito.
Yeah.
Can you run the bases?
Well, you know, they're limited when it comes to extra men here.
Yeah, Luplo's down.
Yeah,
at the
exactly.
bad
You're
ankle.
playing, yeah, right. I mean, you're playing with a guy short with him. I'll tell you what.
Boy.
It's not getting any easier. You know, you talk about the situation they have with the pitching that's coming up and what's going on.
I mean, Ahmed
A thing like
Rosario
that, but they're
was getting hot
everyday
at the
guy.
plate.
I know.
He gets drilled by a pitch. He's been out of the lineup. You can't afford to lose another guy that's cranking it up right now. Eddie Rosario's two-run homer in the sixth. Big blow right now in this one. Extends his hitting streak to 7 games. 10 hits in his last 27 at-bats. 6 hits in the series. I mean, that's really the big number, because coming in, Jose Ramirez was struggling. You knew you were missing Franmil Reyes. And
Well, you know what, I like that, and he's getting warm, but it's not as hot as he's going to get. I still think he's got a big upside where he's going to get much hotter, where he can rip off like a 17 for 35 or something like that.
good fastball, 2-2. Off the plate. And the count goes full.
Well, he's sitting waiting right now.
And he's all by himself.
Yeah. And what's that tell you?
Nobody wants to go near him. The 3-2. Popped him up. Is it playable? No. walked him. So a hit batter and a walk. 2 on, 2 out. And Yu Chang coming up. We assume that Harold Ramirez will stay in the game. But if he can't, you mentioned, I mean, how limited the bench is with Luplow down, Ahmed Rosario still ailing. If neither of them can play, that you're literally Jake Bauers is the only other
That's it.
guy on your bench.
Well, you got Rivera, too.
Yeah, but I'm talking about if
Right,
you got to
players,
positionally
yeah.
move people around. Yu Chang singled his last time up. In the air. Harold Castro, the second baseman, puts it away. Stretch time in Motown. Shane Bieber mowing him down, 9 strikeouts through 6 shutout innings. Harold Castro staying in the ball game, or Harold Ramirez staying in the game, and that's good news for the Tribe after he was hit by a pitch. Still shaking that hand on the left side.
Boy, he was fortunate. It was just on the fingers.
Shane Bieber back to work. Jonathan Scope takes a slider down and away. Harold, thumbs up, man. I'm good.
No, yeah.
And the first hit of the game is a home run for Jonathan Scope. Here in inning number 7.
Well, let's see what that pitch is. That's a slider. And that one stayed right there. He's had such a good curveball today. He went with the slider to Scope. And that'll be the first hit he has given up, leading off the 7th inning for Scope, his 4th homer. And look at the smile. His Tigers are on the board.
Nico Goodrum 0 for 2. Takes a breaking ball and swings through it. Jonathan Scope, his 4th homer of the year, has now extended his hit streak to 6 games. Breaking ball, swung through it, 0-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out on a breaking ball in the dirt. 21 Tigers swings and misses against Shane Bieber, and that is his 10th strikeout of the afternoon.
Yeah, and that's the curveball. He's going back to it. That's been his the special of the day, let's say. That curveball has been so good. 6th, 10th strikeout game this year, which is most in the majors.
If you missed it earlier, he became the fastest Cleveland Indian to reach 600 strikeouts in his career. And that came back in the 3rd inning when he struck out Willie Castro. Took a no-hitter into the 7th when Jonathan Scope led off this inning with a solo homer.
Matt, Rick, you guys were talking about Eric Haas playing left field a few innings ago, and a couple things stood out to him getting to this point. A.J. Hinch, the manager of Detroit, told them in spring training, if you're going to play catcher for me, I'm going to be tough on you. I'm a former catcher, and that's my position, and I want certain things out of catchers that you may not get asked for from any other team. Eric Haas basically said back, that's fine. I played for Sandy Alomar in Cleveland, and that was the same way he was. The next thing he was told when the left field came up, A.J. Hinch said, I'm not carrying 3 catchers unless you're willing to be able to go and play somewhere else. And Haas instantly said, I'll go out to the outfield. I've never done it before, but I'll do whatever it takes to be up here and play for my hometown team.
Good for him.
And Arch, they put him out there, and he got a couple RBI. He might get another couple chances to go out to left field.
Well, yeah, it's what you need. Give me some at-bats. That's a good pitch. Give me the at-bats.
More importantly, he threw a guy out.
Yes, yeah. Picked up an assist.
You know, you look at Bieber's pitch count now, and he's at 92. He has thrown 40 curveballs and 14 sliders.
Blew the fastball right by him, and that's 11 strikeouts for Shane Bieber.
Arch, that sounds like what we used to say last year with what he would use, right?
Yeah, yes. I mean, and the pitch that got hit, it just happened to be that slider today. And I mean, that slider's been so good for him for so long. You know, it's tough for him to not throw it. You know, and
right.
And it doesn't matter, but his curveball has been outstanding today.
Akil Baddoo has struck out twice against Bieber.
But what you're talking about, Arch, is exactly why he went out and worked on the slider in the offseason. So he could have multiple pitches to go to if one was not working. And we haven't seen this, and I don't know off the top, I don't think we've seen this many curveballs from him all season.
No, we have not. It's been his slider. That's been his go-to pitch. And, you know, this is, to me, it goes back to last year the way he pitched. Fastballs early to get to 2 strikes and hook them to get the strikeouts.
Here's the 0-2. Downstairs.
Well, Matt, you knew he had a no-hitter going because he didn't have the most talkative catcher in baseball sitting next to him talking during the last couple innings.
There was nobody.
There's no head. Yeah, but if Hedges isn't sitting next to a pitcher talking, you know something's up.
We thought he was with you.
That's my guy. When we come home, he'll be with me tomorrow.
The 1-2.
Nice.
Just didn't off the plate.
That's where, you know, he's had some called strikeouts today, and those called have come on fastballs because guys are sitting on his off-speed pitches.
Well, he had him down 0-2, and now it's 3-2. His first walk this afternoon, back in the second inning, came after he had Eric Haas down 0-2 and then walked him. That hadn't happened to Bieber this year. And he's done it again. That ball was in the dirt, and it drilled Hedges right in the mask.
It's like the third one this trip, isn't it?
Yeah.
2-out base runner for Victor Reyes as they give Hedges a chance to shake the cobwebs loose. 99 pitches for Bieber, and you know, hey, as much as you always want to see history made, I'm sure for Tito is a little bit of a sigh of relief. It's like, at least we don't have to weigh the.
No,
you know, do we send him back out there? You know, he's at 100 pitches already. Imagine if he's in the dugout right now at 100 with a no-hitter in tow.
Well, I think this will be his last inning, possibly his last hitter.
Matt, I was doing that math going into this inning already, going, this is going to get close.
Yeah, especially with all the pitches and innings he's already logged.
And I would think we know Tito pretty well. After Shane's last couple starts, you know he wants to get him out of here on a good note, feeling good about himself not straining to get through the last inning or the last batter.
Well, he's been outstanding today. I think he established what he wanted to establish. He's been able to throw that fastball by hitters, and that curveball's been so good to him. It is a positive note. You don't have to get the last out of every inning every time you go out there. It's been a very good day for Bieber. And, you're going to have to start protecting these guys when you get opportunities now, I think, if you're Tito. Because every start that they get from now on is going to be so important with the way that rotation is taking shape.
Well, he's already logged well over 1,100 pitches on the year. And to paraphrase the late Robert Frost, and miles to go before he sleeps. So this is a marathon, as we know in baseball, and this guy's been so good.
Think about it, where we're at right now in the season. Just a few more games and the season was over last year.
That's right.
4 more months to go.
Blew the fastball right by him for a dozen strikeout afternoon by Shane Bieber. And the Indians will take a 4-1 lead into the 8th. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. And we go to the 8th inning with the Tribe up 4-1. Daniel Norris, left-handed pitcher, will come on. 4th Tiger pitcher this afternoon. He's got the bottom third of the Indians' order. And we would anticipate that after 103 pitches, Shane Bieber's day is over. 12 strikeout performance. No. Josh Naylor 0 for 3. I love it. Out of play, easy. Put $1 in a swear jar.
Well, you get upset when you get the pitch you're looking for and you foul it back. It seems like it's been a frustrating day for him to this point.
Curveball missed inside, ball 4. So a leadoff walk. We'll bring up Austin Hedges. As I said, the Indians will head back home after this game today. They'll open a weekend series tomorrow against Toronto. Blue Jays currently 24-23 on the year. And then the White Sox follow Toronto in. White Sox today 28-20 on the year. They've split their last 10 games. And the Indians have split their last 10 games, so the Tribe just kind of stuck in neutral, a game and a half back of Chicago. Meanwhile, Kansas City's climbed back to flirt with the 500 mark at 23-24. Then Minnesota 9 games under. They've won 4 in a row. And the Tigers bringing up the rear at 19-30. Slow tapper to short. They don't. Oh, they get the force there. Naylor, he thought he beat it. And
well, I give him credit. He was hustling. He was hustling to get down there and maybe beat it out. And they nonchalantly just didn't realize. Look at the jump. He's giving it his all. And I'll tell you, that was pretty darn close. That was good hustle.
No challenge coming from the Indians.
They probably did get him. It looked, but it was very close. Yeah, just barely. But
yeah.
You got to like the hustle there. Gave it everything.
1 on, 1 out, Bradley Zimmer. Takes a breaking ball for a strike. Zimmer has walked twice today.
Well, one was hit by a pitch.
Oh, that's right.
That didn't look like it hit him.
Shane Bieber sharing a laugh with Aaron Savali. How about the games that those two have pitched in this series?
Oh, boy. You're right. Both of them have the same M.O. And today with Bieber, you talk about the 0-2, 1-2 count. Savali does that religiously, too. And
they combined for 15 innings, 2 runs allowed, and 18 strikeouts. Strike 3 called. 2 down.
Yeah, breaking ball right there. Or was it a changeup?
Two down, top of the order. Cesar Hernandez 0 for 4. Bottom of the 8th coming up. 4-1, Cleveland.
Well, coming back, bottom half of the 8th inning, Shane Bieber went out and gave 7 innings, and what a day he had. I mean, when you watch him, how he worked the quadrants of the strike zone with the breaking ball. The curveball was his best pitch today, but he used his fastball a lot to set that up. And I mean, he just mowed through it. He did walk forward, but he struck out 12 and just was on top of his game. Got to feel good about how he went out there today and just worked his magic. He did give up a leadoff hit and the home run in the 7th inning, but that was the only thing allowed. That hit came off his slider, but Bieber was in total command today. And now he's going to turn it over to Brian Shaw, who will appear for the 21st time. And Shaw's been outstanding this year. 22 strikeouts in his 19 innings. 1.42 ERA.
Willie Castro looks at a fastball inside. So Shane Bieber went 6 no-hit innings before the leadoff homer by Scope in the 7th. You mentioned something, I think it was on the homestand, about how many times we've seen a no-hitter go
into the 7th inning.
Was it into the
yeah.
7th
inning or more, and it was about 8 to 10 times. And you know, all right, let's say over 6. I mean, because people really start counting now. They put it up on the board, no-hitter going in once you get into that 7th inning.
Yeah.
You finish the 7th, and then it's on a dead watch. And we've had a few of them in our games, and there's been a lot more around baseball as well. I forget because I think it was before that 6th no-hitter.
I think it was
thrown.
Yeah. Well, it was right around the Plesac one.
Yeah.
When Zach was flirting with it, was right around there. I think you might have mentioned it.
In Seattle,
I don't
yes.
remember exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah. It's hey, that's the year it is. No getting around it. No beating around the bush. It's the year of the pitcher. And I don't see that changing anytime soon.
Yeah, we are all in agreement there. Comes a little cutter up. Wasn't up, but it's still effective.
I remember this was probably a month ago, maybe. Might have still been April or early May. And Jensen Lewis said to us, you know, the over-under on no-hitters the rest of the year is, I don't remember what the number was. And we were thinking about, you think there could be that many no-hitters? And, I mean, I think we've already blown by it. Whatever that number was.
I think it was right around 6. And you know what? Then they came back. They had back-to-back days.
Yeah, I believe we're like 1 away. For the rest
7? He had 7?
7 was the number, I believe, because he asked me a week ago. And I go, we'll have that by Memorial Day, Jensen, the way we're going.
And we still have a chance.
I'm just curious. What do you guys think? I mean, how many more no-hitters? We've got 4, as you said, 4 months
to go.
I think we're going to see 4 or 5 more. I really do.
Wouldn't shock me at all if we get to 10.
No, it wouldn't shock me. But, you know, Austin Hedges, I asked him yesterday, you know, when we were talking about how the league is being played, and I go, do you see change coming? And he said, absolutely. He goes, that's the beautiful thing about baseball. Guys can't keep swinging like this, and pitchers are going to pitch like this. And he goes, and once hitters finally adapt, he goes, the pitchers will adapt, and they'll go back to throwing more two-seamers, and that's how the game – he goes, it will change, Andre. He goes, just let the game do it.
Yeah, and I agree with him. It will change because but you don't know how quickly nowadays.
Right.
True, and I guess that would be a question for you, Rick. I mean, if you're a guy that has – I guess you can – break this down a number of different ways. Let's avoid long-term veteran. Let's say you're a young guy, a couple years in the league. How much does it take to overhaul one swing if you've already grooved it to sort of be that uppercut guy?
If these younger kids are coming up and they have that uppercut swing, I don't know if they know they can change it. It may be transforming a whole different thing that they will not be the same hitter because what do they tell you? Do what got you to the big leagues.
Yeah.
You know?
But okay, so if the player doesn't know, there's got to be some coaches that see it. There's got to be some people that are in organizations that are saying, we got to work.
Sure, they can see it and say it, but will they do it? Just because a coach says, hey, let's try this or let's do that, that doesn't mean the hitter or the player is going to do it.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the frustrating thing for people like myself. Because you look at it, you're just like, this isn't working. Hit the ball the other way. Where there's how many times I get messages from fans that say, why don't they hit it?
But I think what you're saying, the hitter has to believe it himself before he's going to make a change. He's got to be convinced that I have to do this if I'm going to stay at the big league level.
You know, Tito has said it himself. When kids see guys getting taken care of for hitting 300 and hitting the ball the other way and getting paid off of it, he's like, that's when it'll change.
Okay, and now the next question, when is that going to happen?
That's out of my
well, it's out of all of ours, but I mean, it's discussion that we have, and I'm sure we'll continue to have until we start seeing changes. Now, let me ask you this. Will baseball make the change where you're not allowed to shift anymore and keep 2 guys on each side of the infield?
I think that's coming. And even
if that's coming and hitters are going to be rewarded for it and they can't do that, then Why would they change?
Right. I think, what was the one, Matt, we saw that you could shift, but everybody has to have their feet
On the dirt.
on the dirt.
That was in the minor leagues. I think that was, I don't know if that was AA or A ball.
It's one of them, but I think they probably will do that first, Arch, before they say you can't shift at all, is what I'm guessing.
Yeah, well, or keep two guys on
each side of
up
second
the bag.
base, yeah.
Right.
But heck, the Indians have that right now if you look at it.
We're going to find that out, at the end of this year, because that's when the CBA agreement was going to have to be negotiated before next season.
There is something else, but with 2 outs, I hesitate to bring it up.
Andre Knott does it all the time.
No,
You can sneak it in, Matt.
Very smart, Matt. Don't expect him to keep hitting foul balls like Andre.
So it's something to think about because there's no answer to it. It's just rhetorical. Jensen and I were actually talking about it earlier. We don't know, but what are the long-term effects for the game? All these guys throwing 99 and 100 miles an hour. And can they sustain that? And what will that do to pitchers down the road?
It's a great question.
This is a recent phenomenon. We were just talking about it. In your day, it was rare. There were a couple of guys that maybe threw like that. Now there's more and more and more, but can they sustain that physiology? Can your shoulder withstand that? How many innings? How many appearances? I don't know.
Well, that's why there's more bullpen pitchers now, and everybody goes to 8 or 9 men. You used to have 10-man staffs. We can sit again. We got plenty of time to talk about it this year.
But the one thing off of what Matt just said off of that, how many veteran guys do you see throwing 98, 99 or doing it for more than 4 or 5 years?
And that's my point, Andre.
Right.
So if you're a young guy, is that – you've got to pitch 3 years to get to a point where you're arbitration eligible. Then you can make some real money. And then you got to make it to 6 years before you can hit free agency and make life-changing money. Right. Are there enough bullets in there throwing at that kind of velocity? Can your shoulder and elbow withstand enough?
I think arbitration is life-saving.
I'll take it.
I'll talk about generations when you get to free agent.
I heard that. I'll take some arbitration money.
So will I. I'll take minimum salary and walk away.
Forget generations. All I care about is my generation.
No kidding. We're not talking about your kids.
Kids got to fight for themselves.
That's right. You won't have to worry about it. You'll be gone.
Will? What will?
Well, Matt, we were talking about nutrition, lifting weights. I'm just going on the other side of this. Maybe guys can, but I'm with you and Jensen. I don't think you can do it for 6 seasons. You only got so many bullets.
Yeah, and it's too early to know for sure. Oh, it's going to ricochet, and the Tigers are going to stay alive here in the inning. That's what Rick was talking about earlier. You play a little deeper here, and so if the infielders can't get out there, it creates
It sure does.
tough play.
I'll tell you what, it makes a big difference. Eddie's calling for it, so there's Jose getting out of the way.
But
you know what? He didn't get in there quick enough.
I think he felt him, though.
Oh, yeah.
That dive was a little hesitant to where.
You see the hesitation coming in instead of going through the ball because Jose was in the neighborhood. But I'm going to tell you what, as dominant as this game was for the Indians at this point, the tying run is at the dish now for the Detroit Tigers. So a 2-out walk and then, one of those bloop hits.
And just like that, Jonathan Scope, who is accounted for the Tigers' only run with a homer, is at the plate and takes down low, ball 1.
Yeah, this is not the guy you want up in this situation either.
Out of play.
Let's take a look at it one more time. Watch how Rosario finishes as Ramirez is going back. He's hustling. Now Eddie comes in. Even though he's calling for it, he's not sure Jose's going to peel off. because Jose didn't really, I mean, he's out there running full speed, so he can't go out there and feel comfortable reaching his arm all the way out and going through the baseball. So there's just a thought, we don't want a collision, but they're going to get out of it.
This time, Cesar makes the play, and the inning is over. We'll go to the ninth, 4-1 Cleveland. Fifth pitcher of the game for Detroit is Derek Holland.
Well, he came in the first game and faced 3 guys and struck them all out after just coming off the IL.
Right back to the mound, and Owen Miller is retired for out number 1. Jose Ramirez 2 for 4. He has singled, doubled, and scored 2 runs. You know, Rick, and if Andre wants to chime in as well, coming into this series, after the injury to Zach Plesac, there was a lot of concern, understandably so, for Tito and his guys, the front office, the player development people are scrambling. How are we going to cover all of these innings? And they're not out of the woods yet. But when you think about where they are heading back home right now, they got to feel awfully good. I mean, right now, the Tigers have used 18 pitchers in this series. And the Indians, as Ramirez jolts one to deep left field, it is caught. Nice play by Grossman. And deep in the corner for out number 2. So the Tigers have used 18 pitchers so far in the series. The pitching depleted Indians have used 11.
Yeah. Well, a couple of great starts. And I mean, McKenzie went out and did his thing too for 5 innings.
And Cal Quantrill piggybacked him.
Yeah.
To really.
Yes. They weathered the storm. You know what? And they did it. It was a good thing to do in Detroit. They're going to be facing 2 offenses, though, when they come home that may not be as easy to pitch to. But you like what they did.
But they've at least put themselves in a position where they're not going, we are in serious trouble now.
My concern now is the players.
Yeah, they're dropping like flies.
They're starting to go down now. And I mean, little dings, which happens, I mean, through the course of every season for every team. But now
you feel like you're trying to hold it together on both sides, you know?
That's the dike.
You're putting all those fingers
in
a hole there.
Yeah.
Right. Because, as you said, you know, you're trying to keep your bullpen fully stocked because of the shortcomings right now that you have to deal with there. But, Luplo's dinged up. Med Rosario's dinged up. Luckily, this guy's still in there because it looked scary when he got hit by a pitch earlier in the game.
I got my shoes off now, starting to plug it with my toes.
Please put your shoes back on. Yeah, but all things considered, they're in a lot better position than they could have been. Let's put it that way. And as we said, you plan for the worst, and there were a lot of plans. As Tito said, talk about plan B, C. We were up to plan F, trying to figure out how we might have to cover.
Hope for the best and plan for the worst.
Yep.
But you know what? In baseball, it challenges you every year and every team. And you know what? You work your way through it. And people have to step up. And, you know, when they do, it's a good thing. There you go. This guy's showing you something after what just happened to him. And ends up patient enough, draws the walk.
On base all 5 times today. including
that?
reaching on the air. This was back in the 6th inning, which has been the Indians' calling card this year.
Well, you talk about a hanger. He finally caught one on the inside part of the plate. And, you know, sometimes that's what happens when we talk about how he's been using the other way. Well, he made a mistake with that pitch, and what's it do? It speeds up his bat, and he goes deep. And there you
look
go
at
again.
this. Oh, yeah.
Thing of beauty.
Stay hot, Eddie Rosario. Coming around third. Big Harold's going to try to score. Here's the throw to the plate, and he's saved.
Now, that's Mike Sarbaugh being aggressive because they have a 3-run lead, and this kid never stopped. He started running. It kicked off that sidewall, and it came out, and he felt, let's go. We're going to make him make a good throw to the cutoff man and get it home, but not in time for Harold because he was hustling all the way with 2 outs. And it was a good throw from Goodrum coming over to make that throw. That's just nice. Flat-out hustle, good coaching at third base. They get another run, and it certainly does help. Make it a 5-1 ball game. Good job, Mike Sarbaugh.
They challenged that? I guess they did, huh?
That's okay. He looked like he was safe to me. They got nothing to lose.
If it stands, it's 5-1. I didn't see anything that would indicate it wouldn't.
No, it looked like he had his foot on the plate by the time that tag got there. Well, he's been involved in everything today. Harold Ramirez has. I mean, he got him going with the double in the 1st inning. RBI single. Walked and scored, and safe. Yeah. There you go. You see, it's a short hop, so he can't apply the tag. The foot's on the plate right there.
Yeah.
So, and then it hit his knee. So, you know, it was really closer than when you think, but that foot was on the plate. Maybe they felt it was above the plate.
Yeah. Yu Chang 1 for 4 on the day. Takes a fastball strike.
That run means a lot because now it's going to take a grand slam to tie him. And now if you get a base hit, you'll make it a 5-run game. That would be even better.
I think all I saw was Karinchak up in the Cleveland bullpen. There he is. Karinchak pitched in game 2 of the series and notched a save. That'll ring him up. And we'll go to the bottom of the 9th with the Indians now leading it 5-1. James Karinchak will come on to pitch the bottom of the 9th. Karinchak, 24th appearance of the year, 40 strikeouts, and almost 22 innings of work. He has the 5, 6, 7 hitters due up for Detroit. Nico Goodrum, Eric Haas, and Akil Baddoo. Fastball strike on the inside corner. And he chases that big hook. It's almost like, oh my gosh, we just dealt with this all day with Bieber. Now this guy's throwing a nasty curveball.
Not going to get any easier, absolutely.
And he struck him out with that curveball. 14th strikeout for Indians pitching on the day. Now Shane Bieber, another special outing. A dozen Ks, no hits through 6. And it was just all established with a really good fastball.
Yeah.
And then he went to work with that.
Yeah, don't
slider
forget
and
about
curveball.
that fastball, because that fastball set up the curveball because he was throwing it up in the zone to get ahead and then following it up with that good curveball. I've been curious. I'm looking forward to hearing what he has to say about his outing today, going a little different than he has been. More, about twice as many curveballs compared to his slider today.
You made the point earlier when we were watching Indians Live pregame, and they were showing some clips of Bieber talking to the media about his quote-unquote struggles.
Yeah.
And you said he hasn't had to talk much about this in the past. You know,
He's
it's like,
never had to think about it. They're asking him questions like, boy, they're laying off this, and he's thinking, he's got to think about what he has to say because he's been on such a roll since last year. Got to make some words up for him so they can print them.
all he has to do is talk to the guy behind home plate. He's got all the words he needs. Well, we might hear from Augie Rivero, the Indians translator, when Andre does his post-game interview. He's going to try to get Harold Ramirez on. I don't know if Harold uses Augie or not, but Hedgie could be the translator for Bieber. He just sent Hedgie out there to talk for him.
He may do that.
He has to be. I'm trying to think of another guy that's as animated as he is that I can think of in recent memory when it comes to interviews. Fastball, no match. I think baseball players just by nature are subdued, a little calm, calculated. I mean, because you don't want that up and down.
I got one. It might be an infielder that's a little animated. That used to be Rex Hudler. Well, you asked.
You're going to the Wayback Machine.
Well,
knocked him down, but it's ball 4. So 1 on, 1 out for Akil Baddoo. Good curveball. I won't go back as far as you, but Brian Anderson's the one that comes to mind for me, I think.
and what's he do for a living?
Tampa Bay playing right now? They got a night game? Fastball missed upstairs, 1-2. Oh, they are playing right now. Okay. So wherever he's at, he's talking.
You know that.
Oh, they're playing the Royals? Okay. Hudler's on the other side.
Oh, boy, that's going to be a wow.
There's a foul out of play. It's a word battle. Now the 1-2. Swing and a miss on a curveball. And there are two down in the bottom of the ninth.
Well, another curveball, and I'll tell you what, these guys, they've seen so many spinners today. They're going to see them in their sleep tonight. Karinchak gets his second strikeout. What do they have, 15 on the day? Indians pitching, 15 Ks.
Yes, sir. I picture Tiger hitters walking around in their houses after the game, almost flinching around every corner, kind of like the goalie in Slapshot after he's shell-shocked after a game. He's still blocking shots in the locker room.
It is amazing how many curveballs that they've witnessed today.
It's been a clinic for sure. Victor Reyes 0 for 3. He was the 12th and final strikeout victim of Shane Bieber in the 7th inning. He wants the fastball to finish it off. Popped him up out of play. One strike away as Karinchak takes aim. And a bullet by Naylor down into the right field corner. Here comes Haas. He'll score all the way from first, and on his way to third with a triple is Victor Reyes.
Yeah, that'll be his first triple, a two-out triple to drive in a run, and Reyes gets the curveball. And you can see they were off the bag or off the line at first. That goes down into the corner, playing him more the other way, so he can easily. This is a great triples ballpark. They lead the league in triples, do the Tigers. That's their 12th as a team. And it is now a 5-2 ball game.
Tying run moves to the on-deck circle. Willie Castro 0 for 3. Pops it up. Jose Ramirez, book it. The Indians come to Detroit, take 3 out of 4 from the Tigers. They win today 5-1. The Indians are now 27-21 on the year and have gone 7-10 this season against Detroit. The Tigers fall to 19-31. Shane Bieber, the winner. He's 5-3. The loss to Matthew Boyd. He's now 2-5 on the year.
How about Tito getting win number 700 with that win this afternoon? 21 behind Mike Hargrove, and you can see Lou Boudreau 728. So congratulations there to 700, and I'm sure he's happy winning 3 out of 4 here in Detroit.
I like round numbers.
Yes, indeed.
Congratulations to Tito on win number 700. And the Tribe's coming home. We've got a homestand. Tomorrow night we'll be with you at Progressive Field when the Indians welcome in the Toronto Blue Jays. We welcome in Alan Jensen, getting ready for Indians Live postgame. Jay Lou, I got 2 words for you. Big Harold.
Big Harold. You made the call, Matty. I got to tell everybody, we were talking about our DraftKings segment. Who are we going to be able to pick? You and I, obviously, Shane Bieber, the story today. But Big Harold, offensive performance. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, 4 times on base. Outstanding day all the way around.
And the Indians will see 2 more left-handed starting pitchers this weekend against the Blue Jays. So Big Harold's going to be counted upon this weekend in Cleveland.
I hope his hand's okay.
Indeed.
Yes.
All right, when we come back, it'll be time for Indians Live. We'll talk about Shane Bieber. Fantastic outing today.
Flirting with some history again. We're going to get there this year, Al.
We may. 6 pitchers already have. The offense wasn't bad either. We'll talk about it coming up next.